I want to make a basic introduction of the Wolfram language. Um, I guess I did some trial runs and I realized that I should probably use a timer. So this is a timer that goes maybe for 11 minutes, maybe 12. I'm not sure. Wolfram language, it works through functions, as you see. So here we have a list, and here we have a document. So this is some cell, this is another cell. This cell has some contents. This is not the default style sheet, as I'll show later. So this is a list, and this is an integer, and then the function, it recognizes elements in its operator, in its operation, in its, this is the operator and the operand, I guess. And then based on how it's wired, it says A, B, or C, or D, or I should probably get to the point because the clock is running. So this is a notebook, and the notebook is actually an active element, so you can do something like this, and then it recognizes the output. I wonder when this will change it to. I guess we'll find out soon. Let's change this a little bit over here so that we can see this. Yes. So I think the structure guides the workflow. I think that's important. It's very good to have a good structure, and I think the notebooks do allow that. This will help me return to default settings if I ever get the chance. I don't think this clock is running. Is this clock running? Maybe I should request for information. Clock. So let's see. Looks like this one cycles through the range 0 to max every t seconds. Is it because it's not dynamic? This needs to be a dynamic element. That's really interesting. I hadn't really used this before, so I guess that's not what I want to happen. So I guess I want 10 minutes. So I wanted to go from 0 to 1 in 10 minutes. That's very cool. So this is the structure of the document. I feel like it does help to have a good workflow. This is you can specify what type of style element it is, a chapter, subchapter, text. This is the default style sheet. This one stays the same because it's a different notebook. So the style sheets and the notebooks, they're standalone objects. I made a little palette here that lets me go back to and night mode. That lets me go back to the style sheet. This cell has a line. See? The workspace. This one is a cell, and you can structure the document any way you wish, like this or that. This is code cell for code aesthetic. Codeness extra for is needs that this. See, important, because it's codeness. So it begins with code. Interesting. So it's functioning through this, right? So it's returning this in the end. Is it? What's going on with this? Oh, it's alphabetical. Simple. See? Sometimes you need to understand what is going on. I was like, why would the function be all the way out? And also, it's not all the way out. Code. See? This is a list. This is also a list. If you ask for the full form of the list, it will return, well, that's not, this is accurate, see? Previously, see, that's not an accurate statement, so it's asking what? If you do 1 plus, that's not gonna do anything, but if you do 1 plus 2, then that is a acceptable syntactic statement. This is a example of a string. This is the string, and then this function operates on this string, and then this, you can see here the hover. This means that it applies, so this list is being applied to this list, so it's the same as FG, right? So you can do FG like this, and then you can also, if it's a list, you can also apply that to something else. This is a pure function, so this pure function represents this function. So this element is this. This is asking for the kind of object that this is. So it's an integer, and this is just doing an operation. So that's 3. So these two are dependent on this, and this one is a standalone object within the list. This is some referent documents that I might or might not go through, depending on the clock situation. Not good. Oh, buttons. It's very important to have some workspace. This is the buttons that can allow me to go back to settings. Yes. So this is an entity that represents well, it doesn't represent anything. This is a type. This is asking for entities, and this is getting an entity class, I think. What is this? What is this? It's an entity. So that's the entity that represents all of those. So if you go entity list of what is this, you will get all the symbols. That are in this language. 5,885 and 26. So those are all the functions that you have. Very important. There it is. You can ask for a random sample. Let's see, you can ask for 20 functions. And this is the types of functions that we have available. These are not very good functions. They just ask for 20. Gray level is one that is very popular in my book. Time zone, allow version update, compiler code. So this is a programming language that you can do compiler things with, and that's very handy for optimizing just the runtime. String position, that's very useful. I only have 2 minutes. Let's see. Gray level, permutation cycle queue, time zone, Wikidata. I like Wikidata. Non-missing property division. I stopped talking. So this is a data set. This is an association that represents the properties that are not missing of the Wikidata data function. Well, that's hopelessly complicated. Let's just delete that. So this one would allow you to read things better. So for example, you have related symbols. So these are related to this function. Cool. My time is almost up. Man, that's quick. So that's essentially how the language works. You have lists, you have symbols, you have functions, you have operations, and you can layer them and nest them and structure them and categorize them and group them, and it's up to your imagination. Oh, see? Start it over. Nice. Nice.